Welcome to Red Eye. It's like the never-ending story. If by story you mean itch. Let's go to TV's Andy Levy for our pregame report. So, Andy, what's coming up on tonight's show?
Thanks, Greg. Our top story tonight, a new study says that dogs are smarter than cats. Let me repeat that. Our top story tonight, a new study says that dogs are smarter than cats. Plus, is Google Street View out of control, invading your privacy and capturing pictures of your most personal moments for the whole world to see? We'll try our best to make you think so, straight ahead. And finally, the segment none of you asked for. Greg, Bill, and I answer your questions. A little something we hate to call Ask Red Eye. Greg?
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Greg, for everything.
And thank you, Andy, for nothing.
That's exactly what I apologize for, Greg.
I anxiously await suffering in your life. Let's welcome our guests. I'm here tonight with Angela McGlowan. She's a Fox News political analyst and CEO of Political Strategies and Insights. She's so sharp that sword swallowers consider her an occupational hazard. Mary Walter, she's a radio talk show host. She's so bright that fireflies try to capture her in a jar. Aww. Love to see them try that. My repulsive sidekick, Bill Schulz. Fun fact, he's been dead for 6 months.
I did not know that.
Not fun, more tragic than anything. And sitting right next to me, the great comedian PaulMecurio. His new CD is called Image Makeover. A comedic genius where cruise control, I'd turn him on during long trips. Yes. And he's a maladjusted lout with no political clout. It's our New York Times correspondent. Good to see you again, Pinch.
Be sure to check out our dining section where our readers relive their Thanksgiving horror stories. As for this country's Native American population, their T-Day horror story began with the very first one. And it kept on going and continues to this day. Something to think about when you enjoy your meal, criminal imperialists.
You couldn't resist ruining Thanksgiving.
Well, I think you ruined it for a long time ago there, Sweater Man.
Oh, no one remembers that.
An Indian probably made that garment
They
you're
welcomed
wearing.
us visiting them and giving them those blankets.
They gave us corn, you gave them syphilis.
Oh.
Just something to think about.
That happened 400 years later.
Well,
at
that
Club
was at
Med.
Foxwoods,
All right.
and she was asking for it.
Okay. Well, they're at it like cats and dogs because they are cats and dogs. Yes, in the latest groundbreaking study to uncover who's actually smarter, we are forced to ask, are canines the more adept pet? In a word, yep. It's true, at least according to researchers at Oxford University, go Buckeyes, who claim dogs are smarter than cats. They deserve to be in cages. The reason, dogs are more social animals and therefore have bigger brains than the more solitary inclined felines. Says the woman who led this important research, quote, dogs have always been regarded as the more social animals while cats like to get on with their own thing alone. And well, that's scientific. But it appears that interaction is good for the brain and extends to other species like ourselves. She adds, all dogs are quite good at solving problems. FYI, she said that while a dog was fixing her a Denver omelet. True story. You know what's in a Denver omelet? Neither do I. So to test the theory, we went to a cat. Doesn't even know he's on TV. Then we went to a dog for a response, fair and balanced. You won't get this on MSNBC. We went back to the cat. In the spirit of Crossfire, the dog's tersely worded rebuke. But then the other cat said, I'm not sure if that settled nothing or did it settle everything. Perhaps we learned something about North and South Korea today.
Or
Perhaps
South and North Korea today.
Oh.
Think about it.
Yes.
Well put.
Paul, what do you make of this study? You have 7 minutes.
First of all, I want to know when the study's coming out that fire is hot and water is wet. Is this really what Oxford is doing right now?
Yes.
Of course dogs are smarter than cats. What about that Son of Sam dog that told a guy to kill?
That's right.
Yeah.
That dog got away with murder.
Cats never tell you to do anything.
Exactly.
They just expect you to do stuff, but they never say kill your neighbor. That makes them dumb.
Thank
You
you.
are a genius.
And by the way, anybody that thinks the dog is truly smarter than a cat has not seen my dog eat his own vomit. So there you go.
Well, see, I have to
he
disagree.
took that after you, though.
You know that's your
I have to disagree. I think that cats are smart. I mean, do dogs really hunt for their food? Look at the lionesses of the jungle. They protect their family and they go out and they hunt for food. And cats, to me, represent women. And I think that kitty cats are a lot smarter than dogs, and dogs, to me, represent men.
Well, they
Well,
don't
I got-
represent women to me because they don't go in and make me dinner. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I roll.
And you know what? You know what I gotta say? You wear your biases on your sleeve. You know what I'm saying?
See, there you go, there you go.
see the whole,
I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you got it, friend.
Hey, Mary, are cats dumber, or is it just that they don't care, which makes them seem dumb? They're like Alvin Green, as opposed to no. They're supposed to, you know, Carl Palladino. He was like a dog, always barking and bumping into stuff. Alvin Green was like a cat. He didn't care, but he wasn't dumb.
See, cats are actually really the smart ones. I've had both dogs and cats. I'm totally with you, Angela. I've had both dogs and cats, and our dog was thrown out of obedience school.
Really?
Yes, because
Smoking.
98 pounds of dumb. And I've had
Beat you by 2 pounds, Bill.
And my cat comes when you call her, and she sits, but she sits on command, and so I'm going with cats on
Is
this. I'm
command
sorry.
your nickname for something? Hey, Bill, you were once taken in by a pack of feral cats, and you actually go and visit them on the holidays. Is Thanksgiving going to be a special time?
It is. It is going to be a great. I've got 4 litter boxes waiting for him, Greg.
Oh, fantastic.
Now, I understand the argument about how cats, they can take care of themselves and how therefore and that makes them smarter.
Exactly.
But that's what makes them dumber. Think about it. Dogs have pulled off the biggest con in the world just because they're kind of cute and they wag their tail. They've gotten us to do everything for them. I would love for someone to follow me around New York where I take a dump wherever I want, and all they've got is a plastic bag to clean it up.
I'll do
but
it.
they won't. All right. See, now I finally found someone. Dogs have found it.
Yeah.
It's the greatest con ever.
Yeah, dogs have evolved to play off our sympathies. Cats are about 300 or 400 years behind. To the Gregolog.
I'm outraged.
Shut up, everybody. To the Gregolog, it's a bumblebee of brilliance in a hive of hopelessness. So in the era of crushing unemployment, at least it's good to know one place is hiring. I speak of the United Nations, who apparently was looking for a deputy permanent UN representative for Sri Lanka. Now, you'd assume to get that job, you need stellar qualifications, or at least not actually kill a bunch of people. But if you assume that, then you'd be as wrong as something wrong, like a middle Kardashian. You know, the weird one? Yep, instead of hiring someone cool like Cal Ripken or Bob Newhart, they hired Shavendra Silva, a top ex-military commander who happens to be a suspected war criminal, one who allegedly played a role in killing 40,000 civilians in, where else? Sri Lanka. Now he's got a sweet gig at the UN with full diplomatic immunity. I bet he has a driver, one named Kato or Slim, and a monogram bathrobe made of smaller monogram bathrobes. That's how he rolls. Now, normally I find this stuff outrageous. This is just what New Yorkers need. Another criminal free to steal my prostitutes. Worse, with immunity, he can park wherever he wants, shout at waitresses, and poop wherever he pleases. My guess it's going to be behind a tree. But I'm not outraged because with the UN, the outrage ship has sailed. How can you get angry over an assembly that values the opinions of fascist cretins more than those who try to stop the fascist cretins? Fact is, Shavendra and the UN deserve each other. But at some point, our government is going to have to start taking this crap seriously, or else this guy could harm people here. He has immunity, after all, and I've already given him Bill Schultz's address.
I don't have an address.
And if you disagree with me, you're a racist, homophobic Schultzophobe. Paul, I'm getting so tired of complaining about the UN. What do we do with this place?
I think that they made the right move. This is a man of action, okay?
Yeah, he kills-
he killed 40,000 people. I mean,
Yeah.
at least he gets things done.
Yeah.
I'm not condoning it, but look,
It's just
kinda
outrageous.
condoning.
his
It-
mass
you got-
grave is always open. That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
terrible. He is, Mary, this is, okay, the guy could be innocent, but even if he's an alleged culprit in this, How can they give him a job? He could be a monster.
Well,
Like-
he could, but they also put Iran on the Commission for Women's Rights.
Yeah.
So it figures. This goes right
Well, I was
along.
for that.
Well, at least they keep women in line,
Iran had some
right?
great ideas about that. No, I'm
But
kidding. I'm
Greg-
kidding.
Of
Yes.
course.
Greg, are you really surprised, though? It's the freaking UN. I mean, here we had Hugo Chavez who talks about Bush. We have Ahmadinejad who's against the whole world. And we pay for these people to come to our country and speak. I think they should just totally do rid of the UN. I think they should just get rid of it.
Bill, without the UN, you would never be propositioned for sex on 3rd and 36th.
Yes, the prostitutes think I'm a diplomat from Germany.
Yeah.
That's great. I just keep my mouth shut and go with it. Because they figure I'm going to be cheap.
Yeah. I love how you actually draw your own money.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They just think it's the Deutschmark.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, considering I live about 4 blocks from the UN, I, for one, welcome Shavandra Silva to the neighborhood. A, because his name sounds like a guest host on The View.
Yeah.
And B, because I just want to welcome him to all that is Americana about the Turtle Bay area of Manhattan. He can go to Smith & Wollensky for a burger. He can go to Snafu and get a cocktail. And when he goes on a murdering spree, he can spare Bill Schulz.
Yes, there you go.
That is the key.
Because wait, I want to show you something. Speaking, you guys brought up a couple interesting things at a recent UN meeting. They actually had all these jerk-offs come and talk about Nicaraguans, Egyptians, Iranians, delegates, not the actual country, but the delegates, to condemn America. Let's roll some tape.
Islamic Republic of Iran, while condemning and expressing its deep concern over the situation of human rights and its extensive and systematic violation by the U.S. government at both national and international levels, calls on the U.S. government to implement the following recommendations: to halt serious violations of human rights and humanitarian law, to legislate appropriate regulations to prevent the violation of individual privacy, and to take effective measures to counter insults against Islam and the Holy Quran, as well as Islamophobia, and effectively combat violence against women.
The United States of America, since its very origin, have used force indiscriminately as the central pillar of its policy of conquest and expansionism, causing death and destruction. The United States of America, which pretends to be the guardian of human rights in the world, questioning other countries, has been and continues to be the one which most systematically violates human rights.
We remain concerned about certain U.S. policies and practices in the field of human rights, and therefore Egypt presents the following recommendations to the United States: to review its laws at the federal and state levels with a view to bringing them in line with its international human rights obligations, to devise specific programs aimed at countering growing Islamophobic and xenophobic trends in society, to end the use of military technology and weaponry that have proven to be indiscriminate and cause excessive and disproportionate damage to civilian life.
Paul, I go to you first. I don't know what's worse. It's the fact that they're accusing us of things that are mild compared to what they do, or that they're just so unattractive.
well, first of all, when you got a woman with a man's voice, that freaked me out a little bit.
I actually found it arousing.
But a minute and a half of that, I want to say, Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Listen, can I take the minority position here?
Yes.
Do we not know that people in the world don't like us and think that we're and so why not have them say it and say it to my face instead of like people from Minnesota when they're really nice to you and then your back is turned and they're just talking crap about you the whole time.
Way to go after Minnesota.
Hey,
I love
you saw
Minnesota.
Fargo. You know what goes on.
No, I really mean this. This is a minority
I don't mind
position.
people saying it,
Right.
but why do we have to pay for it? Why do my tax dollars have to go to protect these leaders when they come here? And why do we have to support the UN? I would like my tax dollars to go somewhere else.
Okay, here's my solution. If our money goes to this, which it does, we should be allowed to go there once a year with a paintball gun and shoot at 3 people.
I'm with you.
With paintball, it's harmless, and that way I would be happy my taxes go in there.
How about a dull arrow?
I'm with you
All
on
I
that.
want
That's the name of my gay bar.
All I ask is that they pay the parking tickets.
Yes.
That's all I ask for. Our parks are not going to clean themselves, particularly after what I left there.
We got to move from a decision that stunk to a man in a trunk. A German man found himself exposed to the world after a Google Street View camera snapped a picture of him climbing into or out of the trunk of his car while completely, maybe, naked. According to The Sun, a giant fiery ball of gas and a paper, the car is parked on the driveway of a house in Mannheim, a Heim filled with men, apparently, in southwest Germany. Nobody seems to know if the hairy hair is naked, if he's wearing shorts or some kind of shorts, and why the dog in the picture looks so exhausted. Look at him. And we'll probably never know, since Google has since removed the image from its Street View website and replaced it with this. I'm not sure that's any better. Anyway, Mary, they say it's okay. Okay, this is my